Welcome to Gaia's Love, a podcast of brief messages to help humanity bridge the gap to the new earth. My name is Vivienne Gerard. It is my delight to be a scribe for consciousness today, sharing the wisdom that flows through from Source. Here we go. Episode 143. It is Monday today. Here in Cincinnati, it's chilly, but the sun is shining and the skies are blue. We had sort of some gray, dreary weather over the weekend, and so it's really fun to get this bright sunshine on a Monday morning. I arrive a little tired. It's been a really full weekend of lots of family time and activity and events and celebrations. And so I can feel I'm moving a little sluggishly today. Stars passed out underneath the little bench here in the room, and I think he's exhausted too. It's been a lot of movement. So today, the word that popped in right before I was going to start the podcast was hope. And it's such a simple word, and yet it stopped me in my tracks. I'm like, that's what we're talking about today is hope? Why hope? So I'm going to explore it right along with you, and we'll just see. We'll see where we go. The first thing that comes to mind is the play Hamilton. So we were gifted with some beautiful tickets to go see the play on Friday. My daughter and I went, and she's an incredibly, enormously, hugely big fan of Hamilton. She knows all the lyrics and the story. She's now seen it. This is her third time, and she cries the whole way through it. It's quite an experience to be with her and feel her love for this play. So we went on Friday night, and I had an idea of what the story would be about, but seeing it live and feeling the passion of all of the actors and actresses and watching their skill and their ability to be in the moment and have such powerful lyrics just come out of them so quickly, and the dancing, it just everything. It was almost overwhelming how much energy and passion was coming through into the audience from the stage. And what I learned a lot about is the history of, how our country here in America was established. There's so much information presented through the characters and through the storyline. And I believe we forget, many of us as Americans, we forget, just how much has changed in just a couple hundred years. It hasn't even been that long. How much has changed in the structure and the opportunities here in America. And I wonder if that's why Hamilton is resonating so powerfully across the country. It touches on, these original ideas that brought us together as one United States in rebellion against this dominating empire that was the authority figure. It's humbling to sit in the audience and realize how much courage all of those forefathers, as we call them, who started our country, how much courage it must have taken for them to speak their truth and to stand firm when they had an opinion of what would serve, to be the creators of a country, a legacy, a community of like-minded people who didn't want to be under this space of domination. For the amount of effort and time and their perseverance, to always hold true to these visions that they have had of how it could be different, and then to implement everything that they all agreed on. It was amazing. And just to see the way the politics and the intrigue and, the relationships between the different individuals, how it all played out, sitting in the audience watching it, you could just see all the games that must have happened in politics, even back then when it first started. And yet somehow they found ways to come together and create this incredibly strong foundation upon which everything that we have experienced here in the United States, it's all evolved from the foundation that they established. And also, they're humans. Those were humans with stories of loss and suffering and grief and betrayal and disappointment. They had real human lives they were living at the same time that they were establishing this incredible nation that we get to live in, that we get to have freedom and create. I know I've talked about this in this podcast before, how lucky I am that I live in a country where I can sit with my phone and record my thoughts and not be afraid of being persecuted for it or being put in jail for it. That I have the right to express my ideas, and you have the right to listen to them and have your own reaction or opinion to what I share. We live in a country where that freedom is guaranteed for us. That is an incredible gift. Absolutely incredible. And to sit and watch these stories play out on the stage of these humans that were living their lives and creating all of this for us, it's simply remarkable. It brought me to tears. I cried. I cried right along with my daughter. And then in the car on the way home, we couldn't talk. I'm like, I just don't really know what to say. It was so beautiful. And then we moved through the weekend with a lot of activity, and so I haven't really had much time to sit and reflect on the power of that experience. On Saturday night, we watched a movie as a family. It's called The Green Book, and it's about, it's Oscar nominated, and I don't know, I haven't kept up last night because I went to bed before the Oscars were over. I don't know who won, but I know that there were a lot of nominations for that movie and the actors in that movie. And it was about this journey that our country has been through of abolishing segregation, getting rid of segregation, and really making our country safe no matter where you travel, where you move in our country. For everyone, you are safe and you have the right to go into any room. The themes, the way that the play on Friday went right into the movie on Saturday, it's just incredible to sit back here now and look at how the lessons were just weaving themselves together. For me to sit here in this space today and go, I am filled with hope. I'm filled with hope for our future, for the humans, the humans who are creating history. The movie on Saturday night was very much about two individuals who were changing their own understandings of each other's race and stories and backgrounds. And the time that they spent together allowed them to change themselves and become less less prejudiced and more accepting. And so their friendship that evolved in this movie, it's so inspiring, and it brings forward, for me at least, where are there places where I can also drop judgment and be even more unifying of everyone than I believe I already am. Where can I do even more, be even better? So both of those experiences then flowed right into watching the Oscars last night, and really being aware of how much power we have as individuals to influence the art that is being created, the entertainment that is being brought back to us. The time and money that we invest in supporting movies and artists and creators, and bringing original thoughts and hopeful themes into our entertainment. Like, we as the audience have the power to influence that. We are part of what is being written about history as we support the movies that are generated now and generated next. What we invest our money in today is going to influence the writings, the stories that are going to be created for the next round of movies. And so we're all writing, the playlist, the soundtrack, the history that is being created right now. And 50, 100 years from now, what will audiences say? What will the stories be about that they write about in 50 years? It took 200 years plus for the story of Hamilton to come out and to be this incredible play that has just swept audiences off their feet for ages now, months, years. Like, it's been such a powerful phenomenon. What are we creating right now that history is going to write about? So many of the songs in Hamilton were about that. History has its eyes on you. History is watching you right now, and that is what we are going to be sharing in the future. So what are we doing? What are we writing? What stories are we co-creating? Which brings me back to hope. I am so hopeful of where we as a humanity are taking this journey together. I know the news and the media and some of the stories that are being written right now would have us believe that the world is hopeless, humanity is hopeless, the earth is dying, we are all going to end in some big nuclear bomb. There's all these stories that are about doom and gloom, and I don't buy into those stories. I just don't. I see humanity waking up. I see people speaking their truth with love and kindness. I see people meditating more, doing more yoga. I see them sharing more. I see people trying to become more present, trying to become more responsible. I see new ideas being created that are about healing our planet, about being responsible about our waste. Like, there's so much that feels hopeful to me. And so if we are writing history, if history has its eyes on us right now, and we're focusing on hope, just like our forefathers did when they created this country, how can it not turn out in an amazing way? Even if there's political intrigue and drama and human stories that have us sometimes feel tired or deflated, or we have those moments of pain and we want to stop believing in hope. Even with all of that, if we can keep coming back to the possibilities, if we can turn our focus, our attention on the stories that inspire us, if we can sit in the audiences, with the audiences, and watch, experience moments like Hamilton, witness incredible stories of healing like the Green Book, celebrate what art is being created at the Oscars, how can we not come back to hope? There's so much good. There's so much good, and as we focus on that, we're going to create more. what we're going to be writing about is only going to become more and more inspiring. So on this Monday morning, I offer you the word hope.
Thank you for tuning in to today's vibration. Let's take this message of pure love out into all of our communities and continue expanding love here on Gaia. So much love from my heart to yours.